Good fucking morning, YouTube. Today we are discussing the game Half-Life. Being a game made in the 1999, it is still quite relevant today, with millions of anxious fans craving for a sequel that's probably never gonna happen, as well as still playing the older ones. Half-Life doesn't even seem to have reached its half-life yet. Today, I would like to point out a couple things that make it such a long-living classic. But before we go into the discussion, yes, this game broke me. Thousands of hours of grinding in Borderlands and World of Warcraft didn't break me. Facing pro players in League and Call of Duty didn't break me. Being in 2 high-speed car crashes didn't fucking break me. Yet Half-Life did. 7 hours of Half-Life 1 put me in a week-long rage paralysis where I can't game, sleep, or think. My perception of the world is warped. My faith in humanity is dwindling. Even now, I still close my eyes and see Gaben's twisted face laughing at how much I suck. Fuck, man. This game is hard. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Like every quality serving of criticism sandwich, this review will be the good things in the beginning and the end with all my gripes in the middle.
And then you give them some constructive feedback.
The game starts with a normal day in a lab facility. The one thing I immediately noticed is the atmosphere. Despite having outdated character models, the game has excellent sound and art design. The NPCs will acknowledge your existence, have casual conversations about who ate the last donuts, and move around to make the experience natural and believable. It is impressive how the team made use of the very limited processing and game engine power in 1999 to create such immersion that still works in 2022. As the story heats up, I started to notice that the controls are lacking. The bare-bones controls of the game combined with the joysticks on the Steam Deck makes precise controls very difficult. And trust me, precise controls is what you need in this game. Walking feels like running on ice with roller skates. There is no aim down sight, and the weapon handling is absolutely non-existent. I believe it is pretty safe to say that I know what shooting a gun feels like, and the game is just not it. It feels more like trying to hold a blaring automatic rifle with 2 dildos as I step on my own toes as hard as I could. And then, all fucking hell broke loose. It started with a jump scare context the NPCs I rescued decided to have. And they will just keep doing this until I finally had enough of it, so I ordered them to stay or murdered them. Then there's this scene where I get rushed by a bunch of Marines. Each of them is like a pro player and a bullet sponge, running around and flanking and grenading, violently enlarging my tender butthole with their big dick energy auto aim. I'll let you be the judge here. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you would know that I'm not a fucking noob. Most modern games I could smash on ultra hard with a little effort and perseverance. You've seen me Leroy Jenkins my way through Necromunda or Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm by far not a pro player, but I'm not completely oblivious is what I'm trying to say. And this game rubs it in my face on easy. It's great. And there's the rocket engine mission. I need to start a rocket engine to kill a big crab that's living under it. Just don't even question. There's little sanity involved in this game or this reveal. To do that, I have to visit a bunch of separate areas to restore the oxygen and fuel. I do like how the story is set up and really enjoy the on-point atmosphere and solid story. However, the game quickly eliminates my enjoyment by introducing platforming. Did I tell you about the terrible controls? How walking feels like roller skating on ice? Yep, and combine that with some hardcore platforming, and voila, ladies and gentlemen, that's a receipt for frustrating screens and broken controllers. At this point, it started to drag really bad. It's like being harassed by a cute exhibitionist where you first see the shades in the trench coat and you'd be like, oh, that's kind of sus, but he's cute. and then the next second before you even realize his curly wiener is already dangling in front of your face. It's like stepping on a piece of Lego that's made of razors. It's like opening a can of condensed milk to reveal 20 head crabs and a big loaf of shit. It's like going to Mecca and Allah himself kicks me in the nut as hard as he could and fucking spits me in my face. Or the Half-Life series being my Mecca as a gamer and a fan of Valve, and Allah being the Gabe himself, and despite I trudged thousands of miles to the holy temple just to get close to my idol and get some enlightenment, and he's just like, fuck you! Again, I found myself at a crossroad. I can't choose the easy way out, which is to give up on the fucking game, go back to being a god in other games, and let this scarring defeat forever loom over my mind. Or I can choose to keep going and smash it until it fucking submits. And I smashed the shit until it fucking submitted. And it fucking feels good. After 7 hours of sucking, I started to pick up my pace. I'm starting to understand the weapons. I familiarized with movement and gaming mechanics. I started to hit things that I aim at. I get ambushed, I remember all the enemy spawn locations. I get hurt, I hurt him back. I get killed, I walk it off. I haven't been paying this much attention to a video game for decades. I don't remember what is the last time that I actually cared about what is going on in the story. Instead of just blindly slaughtering waves of numbnuts AI was the aim of stormtroopers and the will to survive of someone who just committed suicide. When the final boss finally explodes into a nihilistic fireworks show, it fucking feels good, man. After hours and hours of pain and torture, the game lost its layer of infuriating horror and gradually started to reward me with immense satisfaction.
You end it with another compliment. So positive,
And that allows it
negative,
to move
positive.
on
Yeah,
to
you
the
got it.
bottom piece of the criticism sandwich. I could really respect Valve for making this game, because it makes no compromises. If you look at modern games, most of them are tailored to the player's experience, wherein you get stuck on a level, difficulty gets automatically lowered. Hints show up, and there are just a lot of tools and mechanisms that are there to enhance your general play experience. But there's none of that shit in Half-Life 1. There's no hints, no navigation whatsoever, and the enemies are brutal, and no assisted movements, no highlighted enemies or items, just nothing. Yet, it is a solid game with an immersive atmosphere and rewarding gameplay. The extremely punishing gameplay is set up just right, so that it also immensely rewards me if I do everything right. And only with that extreme resistance I face each step I take, I can truly savor the unprecedented joy and accomplishment when I finally beat the game. I can't remember how many times I get the feeling of that this shit is just impossible. Then I do the impossible, and it fucking feels good. And this made me wonder, maybe not all games have to baby the player's feelings. And maybe that's just a modern trend that gone out of control. Maybe compromising to the player's thirst of instant delivery of violence and pleasure, also compromising the integrity of the game. Maybe this type of cold, stern stonewall of brutal denial for the typical streamlined and smooth gaming experience is just necessary for making a timeless classic. Half-Life is one unapologetic game. The players are merely spectators. You can only make these undying classics with that kind of uncompromising, no fucks given attitude, where all the efforts go into making the actual game instead of pleasing your manboy fans. And I fucking dig it. Half-Life 1 was an unrelenting journey. It hurt me bad. It broke me. It made me rage like a newborn not getting his sweet breast milk of cheap thrills. But I trudged through, and it's totally fucking worth it. I now stand on higher ground than I was before, with much more patience, tenacity, and mindfulness. I feel like this could actually be a turning point of my life where I finally shed what's left of my fragile ego and ready myself for whatever challenges in life. Thank you, Gabe and Team Valve. And there you fucking have it, my review of Half-Life 1. Hope you all have a better day than I do, and I will catch you guys later.